Happy hour, bitches. Obviously, we're drinking right now.
Yes.
But anyways, welcome to True Crime Happy Hour. I'm Amber. With me is Rex Goliath Pinot Grigio tonight. But also co-hosting with me is...
It's Britney, bitch!
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking King Don's Pumpkin Ale, a sweet present from my wonderful friend Amber, who I got to see over the weekend. It was so freaking awesome to get to see you.
I know. We haven't seen each other in person in like 10 years. No lie. And we won't go into the details of that, but...
Too long.
It was nice to reunite, finally.
It was.
In person. And so I brought her, as promised, a whole cooler full of pumpkin beer, pumpkin spice coffee creamer.
Pumpkin cake.
What else did I get you? Pumpkin cake.
Candy corn.
Candy corn.
Yes.
All the things.
All the things fall.
So, yes. So, it's a nice festive drink for our episode tonight.
Yes. I saved it just for this occasion. It's the only one I have left, so.
So, with this bonus episode, we're going to keep things loosey-goosey and just talk a little bit about true crime. So, in our last episode, what I really want to talk about today, because I've been holding it in.
Yes, me too.
So, on our last episode, well, not our last, yeah, it was our last episode. We did, or Britney covered, the Butcher Baker of Alaska, Robert Hansen.
Creep.
And, big creep. And when I was looking up pictures to help post it on our podcast page and Facebook and all that, I realized it kept suggesting this movie called The Frozen Ground. And I have never seen it, and it's probably because Nicolas Cage is in it.
And you just hate Nicolas Cage.
I hate Nicolas Cage. I'm sure he's like a nice guy. He seems like... maybe. I don't know. I'll take that back.
Yeah.
But
we don't know.
He just doesn't seem like he's all the way there. I'll say that much. And his acting is just terrible to me. Sam and I argue about it all the time because every time I mention what a terrible actor he is, Sam goes, Con Air, Con Air. Apparently
oh my
it's like
God.
Such a good movie.
I used to date a guy that was super into that. And he was a great guy, but I just like never understood the hype with that movie. So,
yeah. But since it had to do with what we just covered and I was like in a mind deep, like I was obsessed with Robert Hansen for about 3 days after we recorded because you told me all about it and then I wanted to learn more and like get into the details.
Right.
And so I shared it with Britney and was like, have you seen this movie? She said no. And I said, well, let's watch it. So we both watched it the other night.
At the same time. I made you
At the
text
same
me.
time. Yes. And then afterwards, I had so much to say, and I thought, you know what? Let's save it for happy hour.
Yeah, and it has been torture for us, like absolute torture. Because what a movie it was.
It wasn't the worst movie in the world.
No.
Like, I asked Sam, because I was like, what do you think about it? And he was like, it was pretty good. What did you think? And I was like,
I think if I hadn't just covered it, like if... like said just like I learned about it a couple years back, like I learned about Robert Hansen and then watched this movie, I'd have been like, that's really great. But because I had just covered it and I was like so entrenched in details, I'm like, that's fake, that didn't happen.
that is literally what poor Sam had to deal with while we watched the movie.
He's such a trooper. But you know what the fakest part of that whole movie was? Come on, Amber, say it. I know you know. What was the fakest part we talked about? This is the only thing we allowed ourselves to talk about.
50 Cent?
His hair. His hair. 50 Cent's hair in the movie. Oh my God.
Or what was supposed to be his hair. Because
Yeah.
I kept looking at it. I wanted to pause it so many times just to be like, is that supposed to be his hair? Because 50 Cent plays like this pimp in it.
Yes.
Which had nothing to do with anything in my book, but whatever. And this was set back in like the early 80s. And so he had like that slicked back. What's that comedian's name? Po Little Tink Tink. He had that hair.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Oh man, Matt's gonna be so disappointed in me that I can't remember that name.
I know. It's like on the tip of my tongue. I can picture him right now. Anyways, he had like that. I think that's the look they were going for and they didn't do it.
Yeah,
Not justice.
I don't know. I feel like, because I mean, yes, true to the time period, but I feel like they could have done like a nice Jerry curl and that would have looked better, you know?
I agree.
I don't know.
But yeah, so I I prefaced the movie. I looked at Sam and I said, "Do you want me to talk during the movie? Do you want me to tell you this is true, this is not?" And he was like, "Yeah, go for it." But I think he only did that because he knew I was going to anyway. Like, he's such a good sport.
He was trying to appease you. That's what he was doing. Don't fool yourself.
So I gave him the gist. And like at the very beginning, they start the movie basically with almost the ending of the story where he gets caught. And so I thought it was going to be one of those movies where they start kind of at the end and like get you into it and then go back and kind of give you the backstory. No.
No, that didn't happen. I thought
They
that too,
start
though.
there, put a bunch of shit in the middle, and then ended it. So basically the beginning and the end are true, and the whole story that I guess they did it for drama, but I think the story's good enough. I don't know why they had to add all that extra stuff to it.
So I researched afterwards to kind of like figure out why on earth they did the things they did. Like the names were changed. I had a mini panic attack. Like I was getting ready to have some alone time with Matt, and I was like, we have to pause right now. I cannot continue. Like, don't even come near me. Get away, because I think I fucked up the name of this podcast, and if I did, I'm gonna have to correct it, because they call the state trooper a different name in the movie, and I kept thinking,
They do.
oh, I've screwed it up, but I hadn't. But anyway, so I researched, and they were talking about that Cindy Paulson, real life Cindy Paulson, she did struggle with addiction. And when she got out of Alaska and moved back to the lower 48, she went back into a life of prostitution and back into a life of drug use, but has since gotten out of that. She's married. She has 3 kids. But also I read that she had to approve every single thing that went into that movie. And that she said,
really?
that she said that it felt like a weight had been lifted off of her because she's never really told her story. So,
Oh, well, that makes more sense.
yeah, I felt better about it after that.
Yeah.
And I mean, these are just everyday people living their lives. So maybe that's why they wanted, like, the state trooper's name change and different things like that. Because they, they're still alive and living their lives. So
I know. I guess when you say it like that, I can get that.
I
That's
didn't
fine.
love that they changed Darla's name, though. I know you noticed that.
Oh my God. So there's only one scene that Precious Darla is in.
Which
And I kept
thought,
waiting the whole movie. I was waiting for it because I knew that they put a bunch of extra stuff in it. And I'm like, they have to incorporate the wife. Because I kept telling Sam, like, this guy had a wife and kids that had no idea. That's the whole, like, mind-blowing part of this story is he had, like, this whole other double life that he got away with for a while.
Yeah.
And so the whole movie, I'm like, where's his family? Where's his family? Where's his wife? And then they show the dinner table scene and Darla's sitting there. And as soon as I saw her face, I was like, God bless Darla.
God bless Darla. I said it too. I did. Yeah,
And they made her seem like such a little bitch in the movie.
Yeah, I
I
don't
just
like
have to
that.
say that too. She was a strong, independent female that like was taking care of business, and they just made her seem like this submissive little
meek. Which, I mean, I guess
Meek
she was super religious.
wife.
So, but also they said that she spent a lot of time like visiting her family in the lower 48, like taking the kids and stuff, which is probably when he did most of his crimes.
Yeah.
But for me, I would have liked for them to, like, there was nothing about like his life before.
Nope.
But
No.
I think this was more Cindy Paulson's story. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it was
Yeah.
a Robert Hansen story. So if I look at it from that view, I feel much better about it. But if I'm like going into it wanting to learn about Robert Hansen, that's not the movie for you.
It's a waste of time. Yeah.
It is. I mean, it is exclusively Cindy Paulson's experience with Robert Hansen. And that's okay. Like, she deserves to have her story told. But I kind of thought it was
With
going to
some- Well, with a lot of dramatization added to it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was.
But yeah, I would have appreciated like an actual like biopic of like his life and all of the victims, and I don't know.
So there's some documentaries you can watch on it. That's actually how I first learned about that. Was I saw it on a documentary one night at Matt's mom's house in the middle of the night. I couldn't sleep. It was really hot, and like she loves to watch true crime shows, and it just came on in the middle of the night, and I watched it and was like engrossed in it. And
Wait, is this the same mom that didn't know about him?
Yes, didn't know about him.
She lived there and loved true crime stuff, and she had no idea about him.
Yeah, no, but remember that he made a deal to keep his name and like his story out of the press during trial. So
Oh, that's right.
that's
Okay.
probably why. And the time he got caught, like by the time he got caught, I believe Debbie had already moved um, back to the lower 48 because Matt's brother was born not long after that, and he was born
Mm,
in the lower 48. So,
okay.
but yeah, I but yeah, I forgot where I was even going with that. Boy, Amber and I have been talking about all day how we're just getting old because we just forget mid-sentence what we were saying.
Yeah, so these episodes should be great because I'm actually not going to edit them. They're going to sound polar opposite of our usual episode because I actually spend hours and hours editing them to make them sound at least somewhat coherent and not professional, but like we get our point across. We don't
Yeah.
go on these long rabbit. See, there we go. Rabbit trails. See, I'm not going to take that out. Y'all are going to see the real me and it sucks. But that's okay because we're doing it for the patrons.
That's right.
Shout out to our first patron, by the way, Adam.
Yes,
You're the
Mr.
best.
Adam Thoreau.
You're so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to mail you some goodies tomorrow, I promise.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, so speaking of it's Britney, bitch, let's talk about some hashtag free Britney.
Okay, but hold on. Before we move to Free Britney, I just have to know what you thought about Nicolas Cage's performance.
Do you really have to, like,
Well, I want to
think
know.
you can
I want
guess.
to know. Like, I want an honest review of Nicolas Cage's performance. In the
All right,
Frozen
I'll give
Ground.
you the honest Yelp review.
Okay.
Nicolas Cage specifically in this movie.
Okay.
Let's see. Facial muscles never move except for his furrowed brow. It stays like this. He's got that stupid voice that I can't stand, and he sounds so serious all the time, whether he's happy or sad. It never changes. They tried to make him seem like he was so deep and caring for this girl by zooming in on his face and playing the sappy music, and it didn't work for me. Nay, nay. So, I give it, out of 5 stars, a 1.5.
Just
Solely
his
based on
performance,
his
or
just
the whole
his
movie?
performance. No, the whole movie gets like a 2. His performance gets like a 1.5. And honestly, I think the movie, even the story that they had, if they would have just replaced his actor person,
It would have been much
because there
better.
were other actors in it that I was like, oh, that actor's in it, this actor's in it, and they did great. Like Hank from, oh my God, what's that show?
Who knows?
The Blue Meth movie show.
Did you just say the blue meth?
Yes,
Like meth the drug?
yeah, the show
Oh, I don't know that show.
Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah.
Hank from Baker.
I've not seen Breaking Bad. I know. Horrible.
Oh, it's such a good show. It's one of those shows that's kind of slow to get into. Like, you got to give it a few episodes, but then once you're in, you are hooked in, and you'll... Sam and I took a staycation to purposely binge the show because it was that good.
I've watched a couple episodes. I just haven't watched the whole thing. But in that movie, I thought John Cusack oh, was amazing. I thought he did a really good job.
I think he was spot on.
As Robert Hansen. And I felt like Vanessa Hudgens, how do you say her last name? Hudgens? Anyways, I felt like she did a really good job of playing Cindy Paulson.
I agree. Literally everyone else in the movie, even the corpses that they dig up, did a much better job than Nicolas Cage.
What the heck?
Nicolas Cage gets a 1.5 out of 5 stars. The corpse gets like a 4.5 out of 5 stars.
God, I'm dead. I'm deceased. Haunt
Like I
me
said,
now.
I'm sure he's the nicest guy, but his acting, like,
You just wait.
awful.
One day you're gonna run into Nicolas Cage somehow, and he's gonna be
and
like,
I'm not gonna give a single fuck about it.
"You say that, but watch him be like super nice to you, and then you'll be like, oh man, I talk so much shit about Nicolas Cage. I hope he never finds out."
Nah, I don't think so.
Okay, I'm gonna hold you to that.
He's one I'm stuck on. I don't think he
hold
could,
you
I don't
to
think
that.
anything could ever change my mind. And what's funny is my mom said that when I was a kid, apparently I was obsessed with Raising Arizona. And that's
Yeah.
a movie that he was in when he was younger. I couldn't tell you what it's about today. I don't remember it. And
so
she loves to
weird.
bring that up. And I'm like, I also, shit in diapers at the same time and like couldn't speak full sentences. So
And watch Touch by an Angel every time you stayed at my house and ate ramen. Great taste.
Touched by an Angel was the most underrated show ever.
Oh my
That's
God.
good quality TV right there.
Oh, we watched it like, I mean, marathons. You know, on the snow days, we'd do
Marathoned it,
marathons of
yeah.
that shit, and I loved it.
All right,
Okay.
well, yeah, let's talk about some Free Britney because I've had enough Nicolas Cage for a while.
I'm sorry, forgive me. I just had to know.
It's all right.
All right, free Britney. In my notebook, I wrote literally hashtag free Britney
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
here for it.
because it needs a hashtag. So free Britney is something I'm pretty passionate about because I love Britney Spears, always have, and I've been following it pretty heavily. You have too, right?
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
actually followed it because I covered it in a later episode that we have, but I kind of got suckered into all these other stories that I follow her on Instagram and stuff, but I feel like it's getting worse and worse. So I'm really interested to see what you have to say because she's not posting as much.
Okay, so we're going to end this. I'm not going to tell you till the very end, but there
Okay.
has been literally as of yesterday new updates on the Free Britney movement and where that stands.
I hope they're good ones.
They're updates. We'll just put
Or
that
at least
that way.
progressive. Okay.
Okay, so what is the Free Britney movement, you ask? If you live under a rock, then you might not know that in 2007, Britney Spears did what? What'd she do, Amber?
She shaved her head and went bananas.
Yeah, and like took an umbrella to the paparazzi's car. Do you remember
She
that?
did.
I remember
It was
that
not
picture.
a good. Oh, it's embedded in my brain forever. Anytime I feel like I'm having a bad day, poor Britney is what I reflect on, and I think, you know what, it could be worse.
Yeah. Well, that's how I rate like my horrible days, like, and how on the verge of like losing my shit I am is like, you know, hit me baby one more time, Britney, and 2007 Britney, because
Right.
that was rough for her.
But I also use it as like motivation. Like if Britney can make it through 2007, I can make it through the workday.
Now, see, that's a much more positive way to view things. I'm
Yeah.
not that great. But after that, she was placed in a psychiatric care after she refused to surrender her sons in a standoff with police. And I remember that too, like it was yesterday. Because
I do.
like a couple weeks before that, she was busted driving with her son on her lap, and people went
Yep.
like bananas about it. And, you know, she had just divorced Kevin Federline, and it was a whole mess. And he was like supposed to get them back, and she would not give them up. And so she went to psychiatric care, and that's when they placed a conservatorship on her in 2008. Her father, Jamie Spears, has complete control over her finances, her career, her personal decisions, such as if she can get married,
Everything.
have more kids. She's not allowed to drive.
I know. I was trying
Have
to
you
explain
seen
this
the
to
video?
Sam.
Have you seen the video of where they took her like out to the desert and let her drive? She was about to cry.
I don't think I saw that video.
I
Was
will
that
find
recent?
it on. Yeah, girl, just search the hashtag Free Britney on TikTok and you will find everything you need to know. It wasn't. I don't think it
have.
was like super recent, but like I don't know, within the last like 5 to 10 years. I'll find it though, and I'll show it to you. It's just pitiful. And her healthcare decisions. I don't know if I said that, but whatever.
Literally,
then
he
in-
has control over every aspect of her life.
Everything.
Everything.
And I mean, I can get like, if I had tons and tons of money, you and I have discussed this. I'm not great at saving. I'm great at making sure bills get paid, but past that, I
Same.
can't save. So, like, if you need help controlling your money, there's like teams that do that, and, you know, accountants and stuff that help you with that. So I can get that, like, needing help with your money part of it, but the rest of it, oh. So then in 2009, freebritney.net launched.
In 2009?
In 2009. Okay, so
Holy
2 years
cow! I
after
didn't realize
that
that's been
happened.
going on that long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. I did a really shitty job on that episode then because I didn't realize that. I thought this
Well,
was
I
like
didn't
in
know
the
that
last
the webs. I
3
didn't know about the
years.
website, but I knew like as long, maybe not as long as the conservatorship's been going on, but I knew for a long time that there was a lot of concern and a lot of stuff because,
Mm-hmm.
as I'm going to talk about in a minute, like tons of her family members have spoken out, other celebrities, Paris Hilton, all kinds of people have said stuff about how they feel about it, and so it's been in the news for a long time. There have been protests and a large social media following of the Free Britney movement.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people have said, if you're in trouble, wear yellow. And she'll
Yep.
wear yellow in her next post. And then this one's pretty far out, but there was like a video where they're like, if you zoom in on her eyelashes, it looks like it says call 911.
I've heard that one too, and I feel like that might be a little bit of a stretch. I
I
don't
do
know.
too. But like people are that desperate because, I mean, this is a freaky
Yeah.
thing, you know? Um, but people are worried that this crap has really gone too far, too long. And I don't think that they're wrong.
No.
I don't. Um, So in July of this year, Brian Spears, who is Brittany's brother, and he's a little cutie. I used to think he was so cute when I was younger, and he grew up to still be cute. But he did an interview and said, this is his quote, "She's been in this thing for quite some time. Obviously, there was a need for it in the beginning. Now they've made some changes, and all we can do is hope for the best. She's always wanted to get out of it. It's very frustrating to have, whether someone's coming in peace to help or coming in with an attitude. Having someone constantly tell you to do something has got to be frustrating. She's wanted to get out of it for quite some time." Okay, so I believe that, but sweet little Jamie Lynn, I say
Mm-hmm.
that like I don't like her, but I don't have any issues with her, but this irritates me. um, But she defended the conservatorship and she asked people to respect Britney's privacy and use the word mental illness and talked about like caring for people with mental illness. And she said Britney is a badass and their family only wants to love and protect her and that people need to quit assuming things they don't know anything about. And that was right after, so this past year, Jamie, her dad, had to have colon surgery. And so he had to step down as conservator while he went through that.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happened, they appointed Jody Montgomery, who I guess she works for the trust that is the co-conservator with Jamie. But they appointed her temporarily in charge of everything for Britney. And about that time is when her social media went really quiet and people started freaking the hell out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
I even
then,
noticed that.
yeah, and then she finally put, so that's when Jamie Lynn said that. And then Brittany posted a thing like, I've just checked in, like, I forget her exact wording, but I checked in somewhere to just, like, get some, you know, some rest and relaxation. My dad's health issues have been really hard. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. But we all have seen the social media, and it's like, it's a huge cry for help, I think.
I think so too.
It's weird stuff. Like, she'll just spin around and around and around, and she'll wear the same shirts.
And she'll give these like really cryptic quotes
Yeah.
that I feel like she wants people to decipher, and
And
it's
also,
really sad.
it is sad. And I think it's weird that they let that stuff get posted, too. Like, somebody's obviously in charge of what gets posted or not, because her
Yeah.
whole life is controlled. Like,
Well, and if
why?
you notice, like, she doesn't even post about her kids anymore. She used to always post about them, like, playing pranks and running around the house and being silly. She never posts about them, and that's, like, her life.
Gonna tell you why. Gonna tell you why. I don't know
Oh,
if you
God.
remember this, but in summer of 2019, her sons were granted a restraining order against their grandpa, Jamie Spears, because he allegedly assaulted her oldest son. I can't remember if that's
Oh.
Jaden or Sean Preston, but one of her oldest one. Yeah. And see, at that point, Brittany had 50-50 custody of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And now with her dad always being around, like, that's taken her custody down a lot. So she doesn't really even get to see her boys,
That is so sad.
which is bullshit. Like, at that
It makes
point,
me angry.
I'm like, y'all could find somebody else to, like, help with this because she's not even getting as much time with her kids. And that's bullshit.
Yeah.
And at that point, I think her dad's really selfish. Like, you don't trust one other soul on this planet to help with this.
Correct.
And Britney's mom wants her to gain control back of her life, and she's filed to be included as part of Britney's trust.
Yes, I did know that because Vanessa and
Yeah.
I have been talking about that part.
And Jamie Lynn was also just named the trustee to Britney's fortune. So isn't that nice?
I wonder what she's worth.
I don't know. A lot. A lot, a lot. You could look it up. I was reading an article earlier that was talking about that Britney had like, she was dealing with like tons of lawsuits and stuff and was like just losing so much money. And now, like, she's, I think it said worth 60 million, but you could double check me on that because I didn't write it down.
59 million. You were very close.
Look at that. Look at that. So I wish that Britney's mom could step in. I just do.
Yeah. And I feel like I feel like she's got some sort of power to be able to do so. I feel that.
Was she
So if she just
filed?
keep on, I feel like she can at least do something.
Yeah, I think something needs to happen there. Mama Spears needs to get in there because I'm not really very trusting of Jamie Spears.
Do you know
Also-
anything about the boyfriend?
Sam. Okay, so a lot of people hate on Sam. I don't know that I
Yeah.
hate Sam though because I've read multiple things, seen multiple things on TikTok, and it's like, on TikTok it could be true, it could not be true. But a lot of people have said like she would be married and wants another baby with Sam, but she's not allowed to do any of that, obviously, without
I
her father
know.
saying so. And so I don't know that I'm that quick to like jump on him and hate him because of that. Like, if I were to say, "Oh yeah, I believe all that," then that would be like me saying I don't trust Britney's judgment in her personal life, and then I wouldn't be part of the Free Britney movement. You know what I mean? So
True.
I can't get on with that. But I'll tell you one thing that does weird me out is, have you noticed she has a gap in her teeth?
I did notice that. What is that about?
I don't know. Never had a gap, and it's totally possible, I guess, that maybe she had braces and then like she probably needs them again. But I'm like, this girl's worth $60 million. Y'all can't do something about that.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
I don't know either. Maybe she likes it. I don't know, but
I thought I was the only one that maybe noticed that.
Oh,
because
no.
I just noticed
That's the
stupid,
whole
simple
thing.
things like that.
some people believe that she was like killed off and it's a totally different person. That's too far.
I have heard that too. I have heard that this is
far-fetched.
a imposter and that she's not even allowed to post on her own social media, and they found this like knockoff twin that's supposed to look a lot and act a lot like her that's been posting on social media, and that's why she has the gap.
Yeah, that's too far fetched for me. But
yeah,
I mean,
me too.
I guess anything's possible. Her case is being heard in probate court, which is usually for conservatorships of elderly people with dementia, Alzheimer's, or like traumatic brain injuries. Usually with mental illness, it's handled in mental health courts. So that's totally weird to me as
It
well.
is very weird.
Like, okay, why? And they're actually she filed to have her dad removed, as oh my god, here we go, as the person in charge of her conservatorship, and because of COVID and stuff, like it got moved. But then they had like a hearing, and it was a Zoom hearing. How 2020? And how about people bombed it? And so instead of like just giving
Free
her,
Britney people bombed it, I hope.
yes,
And
Free
not just
Britney.
like
Free
penis
Britney
shots.
people.
Okay, good.
But they bombed it, and I'm like, why not just like give a new link or something? But they completely rescheduled it, which is just so. I'm like,
Oh god.
of course you did. You're not the one that's having your whole life controlled. But so Britney's lawyer said in court, this recent court thing that I'm about to talk about. So Britney wanted Jody Montgomery, the girl that's a woman that's been filling in for Jamie while he's had this colon surgery and stuff in recovery. That's who she wanted to stay on. And she's not like really. I think she wants the financial aspect to still be handled, but she wants personal freedom. So, whatever. Like I said, I can understand the financial aspect of it. But her lawyer said that Britney is afraid of her dad, and they don't have a working relationship and haven't spoken, in quote, a long while.
So how the hell is that supposed to work? how does somebody have control of your life that you're scared of? And
Right?
like, this is
No.
not Handmaid's Tale. Like, this is a
No.
human being
It
with a
is.
family.
Yeah.
She needs to be able to live her life. If she has mental issues, most people do, and if they're severe enough that they need to do certain things for that, then that's fine. But like, she still needs to live her life.
Yes, she
I don't
does.
know. This
I mean, she has a budget, and she has to run every single nickel and dime spent by her dad, and that's
sounds like a
mind-blowing
one
to me.
person NXIVM cult.
Yeah, it is. It kind of is.
That sucks.
And
I
I
wish there
don't
was
know.
something I could do.
So she's like used the term bipolar before in
Mm-hmm.
interviews, but it was just like one or two interviews, and that was it. Okay, if that is literally all that is wrong with Britney Spears, I'm sorry to tell you folks, but she doesn't need a conservatorship for that. She does not.
No,
There are
she needs
people
therapy
every
and possibly
day,
medication.
yeah, that live with bipolar disorder, and that was another thing. There was a source that came, and it was on a podcast, and I cannot remember the name of the podcast, but they like got a source that was part of her legal team that's no longer part, and they verified his identity, but they didn't share it, that said that Brittany is being forced to take medicine she doesn't want to take. Okay, well, she needs medication.
I've heard that too.
Of course, she should probably take medication, but as well as I know, there's some medicines work for people better than others, so it's like, why not? But yeah.
Yeah, if this is completely altering her personality and like turning her into a zombie and making her submissive, that's not cool.
And Brittany also has said that she wants the legal documents, some of them, to become available to the public. And that's probably never going to happen.
That's a cry for help right
It
there.
is, yeah.
Otherwise, why would you care?
I know. So yesterday, a court rejected an attempt by Brittany and her legal team to have her father removed as conservator of her estate. Which pissed me off. I'm pissed about it.
Really?
Really. The judge did say, which I'm like, why would you deny it and then say this? But whatever. The judge did say that she would consider future appeals for Jamie's dismissal or outright removal. So I don't know if she's saying like, well, not now, but maybe later, like, you're doing better. Of course, nobody knows what's really
Nobody
wrong with
knows.
Brittany.
Yeah. And that's what's
Maybe
sucks.
they're saying she's made enough strides that like they'll actually consider it, but evidently it's like super, super hard to get out of a legal conservatorship. Like, it's very difficult to get in one, and even more difficult to get out of one. So there you have it. That's the latest in the Free Britney case.
Well, I was hoping for more positive news than that.
Well, I
Like,
mean,
at least something, but
well, the judge saying she would consider future appeals to dismiss him or remove him is hopeful. It's
It
a
is.
little bit
It's
of
a-
hope.
glimmer of hope.
But I want Mama Spears in there. I want Jamie out. He's obviously got health issues, which that's, probably not his fault. But obviously Brittany has come out and said her lawyer made the statement that she was scared of him. So he needs to go. Papa Spears out, Mama Spears in. Let's get Brittany
100%.
some more of her freedom, like, for real, because it's gross. And let's get her
Hashtag
back
free
to
Britney.
seeing her boys. That's right. Hashtag free Britney, because hashtag it's Britney bitch.
And that's the word straight from Britney's mouth.
That's right.
Oh my god. Well, thanks for like looking all that up and updating me on it, because I really was curious what was going on with it lately. The most I keep up with is just Instagram and TikTok once in a while, but I wanted like the facts. And I was
Well,
like, I know
I didn't
Brittany will
have
do
to
that.
look much of it up, but I figured like I needed to like have actual facts written down, because we are a fact checking podcast.
We try our best.
Yeah, I mean, we're not perfect, but we do try to make everything factual. So I didn't want to just, because I mean, I have it all up here in my head all the time. I have this information. I can't remember when, like, I have a doctor's appointment next, but I remember the details of Free Britney. So,
You remember the important stuff.
that's right, the important stuff.
Well, I wish I had some true crime news, but I've just been slammed this week getting our newest episode out. It's a good one. Let me just say
Yes.
that. Actually, you know what? You're patrons, so if you're listening to this, you get the inside scoop. Our next episode coming out Tuesday is actually going to be a guest host. It was my niece, Michelle. So Brittany set this one out, but it is on Leonard Lake and Charles Ng. And
Such a insane story. I cannot wait to hear her take on it.
Yeah, and she did all of her research. Like it's
thorough, huh? I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I'm really excited. But I've been editing a lot of it this week, so that's all I've got to contribute to this episode. But I promise to contribute more in the future. And yeah, so I guess we're going to do this at least once a month, probably more so.
Yes.
And I feel like I'm going to let Brittany take the reins on this just because she's really jumped in with Vanessa being out. God bless Vanessa. I was texting her earlier today and she was sending me pictures of her lower back and like all the screws and stuff that they put in and all the PT she's having to go through. They're saying that at least until the end of January, she's going to be going through a bunch of stuff. So
that's so rough. I hope she gets better so quick. I've talked to her a little bit and I just, I told her I love doing this. It's so much fun for me, but I want her better. That's got to be miserable,
I know. I can't even imagine. For the longest time, she couldn't even bathe herself. Now she walking up a flight of stairs is impossible. Oh, I hate it so much. But as soon as she's back, the three amigas will do these together. But these bonus episodes, I'm going to let Brittany take the reins because she's just so good at what she does.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're my best friend because you build me up, my buttercup. I'm drunk. I shouldn't have drank off of one beer.
Off one beer. Mm-hmm. That's okay. All right, everyone. Well, we're going to sign off. Have a good night, and we will see you next time.
Make sure to subscribe to our podcast, now available on Apple, Google, and Spotify. We have new episodes every Tuesday. Leave us a review on Apple Podcast, and once we get 100 reviews, we're going to do a giveaway, and you don't want to miss it.
Also, be sure to follow us on social media. Go like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at TCBud Podcast. And also be sure to check out our website at www.truecrimebuzz.com. Until next time, cheers!